Does breaking windows help the economy? A dialogue. A hoodlum throws a brick at the window of a bakery shop. As the hoodlum flees, the baker scrambles to chase down the culprit. While bystanders acknowledge the event that unfolded, they only observe for a brief moment and drift away, continuing to go about their daily lives. However, two men of reason, Crusoe and Friday, choose to stop and ponder upon this scene. They will explore and discover a profound truth together that goes beyond the broken window. This is their dialogue. How bizarre. Indeed. What compels another to commit such a senseless act? Well, is this really such a bad thing? What could you ever mean by this? Well, yes, it is true that now the baker has been harmed by this act, but think about the positive side of things. After all, now the baker has to pay for a new pane of glass. The baker's patronage would support a glazier. Now that glazier will, in turn, patronize some other merchant out in the market. That other merchant will go on and produce more goods and take that money to trade further with others. Doesn't this act of vandalism bring forth more wealth and prosperity? After all, don't glaziers need to be paid as well? And further, that money has to come back around to the baker someday. Well, yes, I do see your point. However, have you considered what would have happened if this event never occurred? Not quite. No, I can't say. With all due respect, I have to say there is an error in your logic. Do tell. You are correct that there will be wealth brought to the glazier. However, let us imagine what the baker could have done with his money if he didn't have to replace his bakery's window. Let's say the baker wanted to buy a suit this evening that would have cost him the same amount as it would to replace his window. As you would know, this would bring more wealth to the tailor, producing a good that will benefit the baker. The tailor would, of course, patronize other merchants, and around that money will go. This will bring more production and wealth until that money is brought back to the baker, where then the cycle can continue yet again. I see. So then, what would be the difference in the outcome in either case? Well, the difference is that in the former case, the baker is only left with his new window, while in the latter, the baker has both a new suit and his window. Ah, I get it now. What I failed to see, what was unseen. We have lost more than the window. We have also lost what could have been produced instead of a window. Then I concede that this senseless act is senseless and ultimately harmful to all of us, even if it benefits the glazier directly and benefits him in the short run. I'm glad we came to an understanding. I'm glad I have learned from this encounter. I'm sure I can use this lesson to apply it elsewhere. How so? Well, if the lesson from this is to imagine what things could have been if things were different, and to destroy something to benefit one or some individuals at the expense of other individuals or the rest of us means we lose more than what it may seem at a surface level analysis, then what could this mean for, I don't know, tariffs on imported goods? How could a government-imposed tariff be any different than a government-imposed window-smashing policy to aid our glaziers? How thought-provoking. You are correct. Now that I'm thinking of it, would this also apply to price controls, production controls, prohibiting certain products, subsidies, government land grants, prohibiting certain industries, nationalizing certain industries, taxes? What could have happened if all of these things were gone? What could have happened if I could decide where my tax dollars went? Sure, I voted, but my preferred party doesn't always win. Sometimes they do win and betray what they promise me. What if I simply just decided what I wanted to pay for? I may have had my suit and my window too. Sure, my tax dollars pay for our roads, but they also pay for things I don't want to pay for, like government welfare that I don't benefit from. I think you're right. Well, then if we really don't need all of those things you've mentioned, then is there really a need for a government? What about law and order? Does law and order come from smashing windows? I'm beginning to think not. What would happen without a government, though? I don't know. I don't think that matters. All I do know, from what you've taught me today, is that we have to imagine what is unseen, and that does not entail a plan of action. It could mean a new suit, but all we do know is that we don't need any more windows shattered. And then Crusoe and Friday, they hop on a ship, they're going on a cruise, and then they get shipwrecked and cast away on an island, and then Murray Rothbard makes them go through crazy Crusoe Friday economic scenarios like sucking dick to get coconuts. Okay, goodbye.